with the cupcake bottoms and the tart bottoms, uh, you're going to be using a 100% non-refined paraffin. You can get the 100% non-refined paraffin. It's called 4625 at Candle Science. There's also different kinds that you can get. I'm familiar with the 4625. I'm not familiar with any of the other ones, but you can try the other ones. That's the great thing about candle making is, and all the different waxes. Um, you can experiment and mix the waxes and make your own blends. That way, your candles are actually unique to you. And you are the. I know there's a billion candle makers out there, but um, the different combinations of and variations that you can do and the creativity that you can come up with makes your candles unique to you. And all the mixtures and waxes that I tell you that I use, you don't have to go buy that. And I'll tell you the three different categories of waxes that I use in food food candles. The three different categories are soy, parasoy, and paraffin. So you got soy wax, blended wax, and then paraffin. Soy wax, you can use, I prefer 444. I've tried 415, 444, 446. I've tried just a generic version from Hobby Lobby. I've tried Michael's. I've tried a lot of different soys, and 444, see, 415 is if you're wanting to go all natural. 415 is the way to go because it doesn't have any additives. It doesn't have any chemicals added to it. It's just straight natural 100% soy wax. The 444 that I use has blended additives, and what are the negatives that you get from soy wax is frosting. And I really don't like frosting in my candles, especially since I use a lot of glass and not the tins or the really dark colored containers that other people can use to hide that frosting. I use like in my pina coladas, I use drink candles, daiquiri candles. I do a lot of glass, and I use soy in those. So the frosting is very, very undesirable for me. So the 444 works well for me because it reduces the additives that they put in 444, reduces the frosting. So
What about 464?
464 is a beast. It's
Because that's what I make my candles with.
I have so much trouble with 464.
I hear a
Four,
lot of people say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's a great wax. It's a
Hmm.
great wax. Don't get me wrong. I just hate how fickle it is. You'll
Okay.
have like just a couple degrees off, and you get like a totally different outcome.
Okay.
Uh, and it's just super, super, super picky.
Hmm.
And like not there's so many different variations that go into candle making that you can't reproduce it every single time. I mean, the temperature in your house, your AC, if it's 72 degrees, if it's 75 degrees, is there a draft? How warm is your glasses, your containers when you pour? The degrees. Um, Sometimes there's humidity and the moisture gets in and actually uh, makes the molecules in the wax crystallize. You just can't reproduce it every time. And 464 is super, super fickle. And I've had less problems and more consistency with 444 than I have 464.
Okay.
Um, da, 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 da. All right, so 444 or soy wax. The difference between soy wax blended and paraffin on the soy wax side is the negatives is you get frosting, but the positives is you don't get pitting, sinkholes, and wet spots because soy wax does not shrink as much as paraffin wax. Um, so the negative on soy wax is frosting. The positive is you don't get pitting and sinkholes. The let me go to the other side. Paraffin. I prefer 4625, and the reason why I like 4625 is Candle Science. Super, super good. Whoever makes I've had a lot of different just 100% paraffins, and the way they manufacture the paraffin, it's actually smoother than all the other ones that I've gotten from any other companies. I don't know why. It's not supposed to have any additives in it, but just the way they pour it or manufacture it, it's just a little bit smoother. So that's why I like 4625. But with my candles, I don't normally use just 100% paraffin. I always add like either a little bit of soy or a little bit of 6006 or a soft soy or a blended wax to give it more texture and more opaqueness. So I sometimes go out to eBay. I go to Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, if you get 40% off, it's called General Purpose Wax. They have 40% off coupons. You can actually download an app on your phone that every time you go into Hobby Lobby, you automatically get 40% off of items. So it's like I don't know, maybe like $26. Yeah, $26 for a 10-pound slab, and then if you get 40% off, it's like $16 or $17. And you don't get shipping, and you don't have that shipping cost. So if I want quality, if I know I'm gonna make candles for a really good client or a really good customer, VIP, or some sample kits for some boutiques that I want to, put my candles in, I will use the 4625. But if I'm doing daily orders and I'm just doing, bulk pies or bulk cupcakes, I will go to Hobby Lobby and get that because it's so much cheaper. So much cheaper. You don't have the shipping. You have the 40% coupon. So, all right. So that's paraffin. Um, the the third category is blended waxes. Blended waxes are are good because they have additives. Uh, it's a blend between soy and paraffin, so you do get pitting and frosting, but you get less of both. Then you get less frosting than if you use all soy, and then you get less pitting if you use uh, versus if you use all paraffin. Um, so that's the plus side about blended wax. The other plus is for what we're doing today. The absolute plus for blended waxes, soft blended waxes, There's two different kinds of blended waxes. It's soft and hard, and I will show you. So the soft blended waxes, they come in slabs, and it looks like Crisco. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's really soft. It's sticky, and what you normally do to get little blocks like this is get a spatula or something like that, and just cut blocks, and then you can use it. But I normally use the soft kind because of what we're doing today. We're doing whipped cream and we're doing ice creams. And with whipped cream and ice creams, the 6006, what it does is it makes it look creamy. One, it makes it look creamy. Two, it makes it easier to pipe because you get less lumps and less, it cools slower than just soy. And because it cools slower than just soy, um, you have a longer period of time to do your piping. So with soy, you got like maybe 7-10 minutes, and then it starts hardening up, and you either have to put in some water that's like 130 to 140 degrees to heat it back up, or you just have to let it harden and just start over and use another batch. If you put 6006 in there, your window, like if you do all 6006, for example, this cupcake right here is all 6006. Um, your window is forever. It never hardens. Like I made these yesterday, and it still feels a little sticky. So depending on how you're using your candles will depend on well, what waxes you use for your cupcakes will depend on how you're using your candles. Because if you are just using your candles for yourself in your home and your guests, and you're not shipping them, then you can put more 6006 in there because the softness doesn't matter, and you're not shipping them. If you are shipping them, and if you are doing a pop-up stand outside where it's hot, um, using less 6006 will be beneficial, um, because the hardness of the soy will help you out in the shipping where it won't like mush and crush and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, all right. With that said, that's the waxes. Any questions on the waxes? All right. I'm gonna go to Wix. So when I started out 2 years ago, I used to use any old Wix. When I started the DIY group, you guys are probably all familiar with the DIY group. Um, but then I started learning about how to wick test and what the differences are in the wicks and stuff like that. And when I started using an actual kind of wick, I started using Eco. I used Eco and Zinc Core. There are CD wicks, and there's also HTP wicks. And all three of those wicks you can get at candlewick.com. I get mine at candlewick.com. You can get them at Lone Star. You can get them. You can get the Eco ones at Candle Science. You cannot get the Zinc Core anywhere but the candlewick.com. You can also get Zinc Core wicks at on eBay. I actually like getting mine on eBay because the kinds that I like, there's three different kinds, and I'll tell it so you can write it down. So the first kind that I use mostly, about 80% of all my candles, is 51 32 18. It's like the Goldilocks of zinc wicks. It's not too small, it's not too big, it's just right. And then the next size up, if I have a lot more wax, if I'm because most of my candles are usually about, I don't know, anywhere between 8 and 14 ounces. And for 8 to 14 ounces, 51, 32, 18 is a great wick. But if I'm using less, like let's say 4 to 6 ounces, or a votive candle or something like that, like this candle right here is only 4 ounces. Um, I would use a 43 32 18. If I'm using gel wax, so really hot wax like paraffin or gel wax, and I have a lot of wax, maybe 15 to 20 ounces, maybe a cheesecake or something like that, I would go up to the 61 32 18. And then for the Eco Wicks, I use normally basically three three wicks. You'll see a theme here. I usually have small, medium, and large. My smalls are Eco 1, and they only come in 3 inch 3 inch wicks. So and they come at 1 inch and 3 inch wicks. You have to measure the candles that you're using. For example, if you are doing just a tart, the Eco 1 is great. It'd be great. You get the 3 inch, and then you're gonna have to clip it off. Um, and then I usually get about 6 inches. If I'm doing a really tall drink glass, I'll do 9 inches for the Eco 2. Eco 2 is my Goldilocks. The Eco Wicks. It's the medium, and if I'm making a candle in between like 9 and 15 ounces, then I'll use Eco 2. Eco 4s is my large, and I will, if I'm making a large candle or all paraffin candle or all gel candle, I will do the Eco 4. All right, so today I am going to work with bananas. My choice is bananas and strawberry. You can use any in bed you want. You can not only use embeds, but you can also use real sprinkles. You can use actual sugar-based sprinkles, and then also, since you can use sugar-based decorations, I found this at Michael's yesterday. But these are little sugar-based cupcake decorations, and they're little flowers that are made out of sugar. So as long as you don't have the sprinkles and the sugar-based decorations close to the wick where the fire is actually touching the sugar, you won't get that carbon black smoke, that carbon sooty um, discharge from the wick. So if you are getting a black smoke and a real carbon smell to it, it means you had too much sugar too many sprinkles, something's not right around the wick. So you need to spread that out a little bit to the outside.
You mind letting us know which wax you suggest to make embeds?
Which what?
Wax. Which wax do you suggest to make embeds?
Oh, yes. So, if you're using embeds, and it depends on what wax you're putting it into. So, um, paraffin containers and gel container candles. Paraffin and gel are a really high melting point wax. So what you want to do is you want to use only paraffin for your embeds. Um, if you are just using the embeds for decoration, if you notice, if you have made embeds before, if you notice the embeds, if you make them out of just paraffin, they have like a clearish look to them. And that clearish look, I kind of try to avoid in my candles because it doesn't look real. You don't get that clearish look if you buy, a strawberry from the grocery store. So why am I getting a clearish look now? And in order to get rid of that clearish look, then you just add like maybe 10-15% of soy wax, or you can add Vibar. Vibar adds opaqueness to your embeds. Also, it raises the melt point of the wax that you're putting Vibar into. You want to do a fourth to a half teaspoon per pound, which is 16 ounces. Another thing Vibar does is it traps in fragrance oils. So if you put too much in, you're not going to get a cold throw and you're not going to get a hot throw. But if you do the right amount, the fourth of a teaspoon, it actually allows you, if you do a half a teaspoon, it allows you to do almost double the amount of fragrance oil than recommended for the wax. So let's say soy wax is 10% fragrance oil. If you put a half teaspoon of teaspoon, tablespoon, teaspoon. I have to look that up. Nature's Garden has really good information on Vibar. Yeah. So if you do the right amount of Vibar, you can actually go all the way up to like 18% fragrance oil. If you didn't have the Vibar, if you put 18% fragrance oil in the soy, you'll notice that you'll get a lot of sweating. The fragrance oil, the wax won't be able to hold the fragrance oil, so it'll just seep up, and you'll see these little sweatings, these wet spots on the top of your candle. But if you have Vibar, it reduces the sweating, so it allows you to do more. I wouldn't recommend going all the way up to 18%. I would do like maybe 12 to 14%, which would be good. But it lengthens your cold throw and lengthens your hot throw. But that's for the embeds. And in order to do your embeds, you get a silicone mold, and I just started making them. Yay! I'm so excited. I've been waiting so long, so long. I've spent maybe $2,500 on all my molds, and it gets expensive. Or all my, like when I first started out, I didn't have any molds, so I would order my embeds from people, and for months, I ordered embeds, and I was like, well, I want silicone molds. I want to do these embeds myself. And then I started doing the embeds myself, and then I noticed the price tag that comes along with molds, because the silicone that you make molds with is super, super expensive. But I found that out. But I've been waiting so long. I was like, if I had my own molds, I could make my own. Like, you guys know how creative I am. I am always thinking. I'm always coming up with ideas. And now that I have like the silicone, I went to the grocery store the other day and it's like a kid in a candy store. I swear, I was like, yep, I'm molding that. I'm molding, yep, I'm molding that. People thought I was crazy.
So with your embeds, are you saying that you could either use the 444 10 to 15% with the paraffin, or the 444 with the Vibar? So you'll pretty much get the same result either way.
Yes, if you use a combination of the paraffin and the soy, I would use just a tad bit less of the Y bar, because the paraffin doesn't like to hold the Vibar as much as the soy. But for embeds, if you're only using for decoration, to finish my thought earlier, you can actually go to all soy for your embeds.
Okay.
If you like that look, it's just preference.
Okay.
So another trick, I'll show you a little trick. All right, so with your embeds, if you're using all paraffin, like most of mine are all paraffin, because I use a lot of gel wax in my candles. So I just use paraffin, and it's a higher melt point. And with paraffin, you get this white ashy look on the outside of the embeds. Um, and I'm going to show you real quick how to get rid of that little ashy look. And my webcam does not show the whiteness of it, so pretend like you can see it. All right, so what you want to be careful with are the little pits and the features of the embed that make them look real. So the longer you put the heat gun on them, the less real it's going to look. So you do want high heat because they are paraffin. And you don't want to stay in one spot very long at all. All right.
So it's a shine on them.
Yes. To get the shine, what you use is the oil from your hands while it's still cooling. Like soon as you take the heat gun off, you'll get this like slippery feel to the embed, and you can rub your finger around it and it shines it up really nice. Works super, super good with cherries. But yeah, the oil from your fingers will make your embed shine. All right, so that's the trick. I'm going to use bananas and strawberries in mine. And we are going to do the bottoms. You can do any color, any fragrance. As far as coloring, I like to use cream from Candle Science. You can get block dye from Candle Science. I really like block dye because it doesn't get everywhere. The only liquid dye that I ever use is brown and black and sometimes blue. Because the block dye and the blue does not like to get really dark, and when you use liquid, you can get a darker blue. And when I do like blueberries and stuff like that, I like my blueberries super super dark. So I had the blue liquid dyed and some black dye to my blueberries. But I like to use cream for my bottoms, and you can actually use any color you want. Like yesterday, I was feeling a little crazy, and I got a little orange one, a little purple one, got a red one. But yeah, so we're gonna heat our paraffin wax up to right around 175, 180. Or less. Actually, 160 is good. And in order to get a chocolate color uh, for the tarts, you add. I like to use New Brown. I got New Brown from Candlewick. You can also get a brown from Aztec, a liquid brown. The Aztec ones, you have to be super, super careful because they are super concentrated. If you put too much of the Aztec dye in, you actually start like your candles start smelling like turpentine.
Hmm.
But for every like 10 drops that you use for a generic off-brand dye, you only need like 1 drop of the Aztec stuff. So it lasts like super, super long. All right. That's how to get the chocolate. And then for all my chocolate stuff, I use Aztec fragrance. I use Aztec for all my fragrances. I love them. They have a extremely, extremely good food line. I haven't really tried any of the other scents. I don't know if they're any good, but I know for a fact all their food scents are like spot on. So I use a chocolate and a chocolate brownie for my chocolate.
And how many
And
ounces did you say go in each of those? About 4 or 5?
this is a 3-inch tart, 3-inch. This is a 3-inch tin, and with food candles, you don't have to be exact on your amounts.
Right.
So I actually don't even know. It's probably around 2 to 3 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple of chocolate cupcakes.
When you said that the measurements don't have to be exact, were you referring to fragrance oil?
Yes, on paraffins, it's 6 to 8%, and if you have a blended, it's right around the same, 6 to 8%, more on the 6% than the 8%, and then on soy, it's like 8 to 10%. When you buy wax at Candle Science, they usually tell you what the recommended fragrance oil is. They'll tell you what the max is. A lot of people they'll see that percentage and they will put the exact percentage in every time, and that's not a recommended percentage. It's just they're just telling you, hey, your wax will only hold this much wax. So use less than this. It's kind of like a speed limit. So you can, as long as you're getting a good cold throw and a good hot throw, you don't need the maximum recommended. And it depends. You'll notice on your fragrances, like my blueberry cobbler, I only have to use like 3% because of how strong it is. But then like my pear, uh, like my pear, and some of the tropical fruits, I have to use like the max amount because the fragrance isn't very strong at all. All right, for these, I'm going to be using Eco 2 for the cupcakes. I use little wire clippers for clipping my wicks. And I actually save these, put them in a little bucket because you can always get tabs later and then retab those and then reuse them. You can either go by hand. I'm a pretty good judge at where the middle is. If you're not a good judge, you can use these little suckers. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on at Candle Science, Candle Wick. They're pretty cool. I like them. Excellent for cupcakes because they fit right on there. I just use my eyeball and some skewers to keep it up. All right, so that's for this method. I'm going to show you a little trick that will help you pipe later. So what we're going to do on these is we are not going to wick them before we pipe. We're going to put little skewers in them and to make a hole, and then we're going to wick after we pipe. So that way the wick does not get in the way of your piping. All right, I usually have about 12 pots going at the same time. I know you guys probably don't have that many, but I do label them, so I always have 100% paraffin in this one. I always have a soy one going, and then I also have a 6006 going, and I never put fragrance oil and or dye in this, so therefore I never have to clean it out ever. I just keep filling it up with paraffin wax, and that's it. All right, so I'm going to use bottoms in these. My paraffin wax is about 160 degrees. I'm going to put some cream dye in there. You just use a pocket knife or something like that, and then you just flake it in. And there's a learning curve with block dye rather than liquid dye, because liquid dye, you can get instructions on liquid dye, and you can get information on like how many drops you can use. With block dye, you don't have that like 10 scrapes or whatever. So there's a learning curve. You're gonna have to like just test out your block dyes and little test containers and see how much you need to use. And I just did what I said I didn't do. God darn it. Oh my goodness, I just put dye in here. Now I'm stuck with oh that's a lot of canned paraffin. I guess I'm making a lot of cupcakes. Holy crap.
Just need to buy another one now.
Gosh darn it. Well, I'm not gonna put fragrance in it, so I can use it for other things. Actually, yeah, I have a whole bunch of orders for crust, so I'll use it for crust too, and then clean it out, like I didn't want to do. All right, so the container that I am gonna use is where this one. Yeah, a little container. Yeah, there's so many people. There's a funny story to this. If you go to DIY candle group, about at least once a month, I see somebody saying, "Oh, I got this by mistake, thinking it was a huge pot." But when you get it, it's like tiny. I do like it because it has the millimeters and liters and ounces on the other side. So uh, you may have to measure it. I'm going to tell you how to measure it. I don't measure it, so I'm going to show you how to do it properly, and then I'm going to do it my way. All right, so you get your scale, and you want to weigh. Normally, you put the empty container on there first, and then you zero it out. I know my container is 0.74 ounces, so I can just subtract. So I got 2056, so 1975. So 1975 with paraffin is 6 to 8%. I like to go on the 6%. Paraffin holds fragrance better and has a better throw. So what I normally do is I take it and I divide it by 10, so you get 10%. So I have 1975. You just move the decimal point over, so it's 1.97, and that's 10%. 1.97 is 10%. So then you take off just a little bit. A half of 1.9 is 8, or yeah, no. Half of 1.9 is 9.
Like 3.9.
9.3.
You said 1.9 divided by 2?
Yes.
Yes, 0.95.
0.95. Okay, so that would be 5%. So adding 1% would be right around 2.3. So I'd put about 2.3 ounces of fragrance on it. Well, there's some good calculators out there. If you actually have a little tiny calculator, you can just take the amount of wax you have and times it by zero point 0 whatever percent you need, and it'll get you the exact amount of fragrance that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. All right. I'm using birthday cake for my bottoms. Then you want to stir it for about 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Nikki, you in here, Nikki?
Yes, chef. I had to press mute for the kids.
Thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay.
I'm doing fine.
Nikki here is a pro at whipping icing. I could actually learn a couple things from Nikki.
And I learned a lot from you.
She has one of those industrial size mixers. I like to leave about a fourth of an inch at the top. Gives me room to do some whipped cream and get a really nice edge around the bottom.
What are you using for the bottom part? Paraffin?
Yeah, paraffin.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like blending the bottoms because people like to pick them up by the bottoms, and if you put 6006 in there, it gets really sticky and oily.
Yeah. Okay. I usually use 444 for the bottom. I never use paraffin. I'll try the paraffin.
Okay, okay. Paraffin's actually made to freestand, so you don't actually
Yes.
need anything to hold the candle up if you don't
Exactly.
use soy. Soy tends, like if you have a pop-up shop and you're selling candles outside, the soy
Right.
will melt a lot faster than the paraffin will.
Yeah.
Or if you're shipping them, paraffin's definitely a lot better if you're shipping them.
Okay. I'll try the paraffin.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna wait for these to turn like this. These, we have like a little film on top. And once I get that film on top, that's my playtime. I get to play. All right. So these are waiting to get a film. Once I get a film, I'll be putting the little skewers in to make the holes for the wicks. These are not getting wicks because they're tarts that we're going to use as melts. And as soon as you get that film on top is when you want to do your indents. If you notice on my candles, you'll see if you look close on my embeds, you can actually see the embed going into the wax. That's another reason why I really like paraffin, because it gets that film on top, and then you can just manipulate it. And chocolate, strawberry, banana. You can do all sorts of good, cool things with these. My favorite to do with the wax melts is do a hazelnut, do hazelnut coffee plus regular chocolate into the bottom, and then do a, what you can do is you can get either a soy or the soy 6006 combination, and you can do a like a layer on top. And then you put what you put on the top is Southern Pecan. So you have a hazelnut coffee chocolate smell on the bottom, and then you have a really buttery, nutty smell on the top, and it's like to die for it. And especially, I like doing that also because the 6006 has a way better throw than um, paraffin alone. And when you're using melts, I mean, the whole goal for melts is to get that throw.
And what scent did you say you put on top?
I just put a little. This one is this container I use is a combination of 80% 444 and 20% 6006.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I meant of the hazelnut and coffee one you were referring to.
What the percentages is? What
No, no. What scent did you say you put on top? Was it butter?
Oh, it was Southern Pecan.
Oh, Southern Pecan. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounded really good.
Yeah, it melds really good with the hazelnut, and it smells so good. Um, you can also do marbling. If you do like a really light pastel color on your bottom, what you can do is you can take your block dye. It doesn't work as good with liquid dye because liquid dye sinks to the bottom, and you want to do it right when you pour, so you don't want this film. But I'm going to show you real quick what you do to do a marbling effect on the top. So you take your block dye and your knife, and you want to do really, really, really thin shavings sporadically around. And as soon as you pour, the wax is going to be so hot that this is going to like instantly dissolve and then in place. And then what you do is you take your skewer and then you just move it around into little swirls like a cheesecake. Yeah, that's how you marble. All right. So for your piping bag, you're gonna need 70%, 70 to 75% soy wax. I like to use 444. And then 25 to 30% 6006. And what the 6006 does, oh, I told you that before, is it lengthens your window on being able to pipe. softens it up. I need a bigger workshop. These are almost ready to put the skewers in. And we're still going to set it aside so I can show you the tips and stuff. Okay. All right. So for your bags, you can get really, really, really thick Ziploc bags, and then cut a corner off, or you can go to Michael's and get the expensive ones. You can get they have silicone ones that you can use, or you can get disposable ones. And the ones that I get are from webrestaurantstore.com. And it comes in a roll like this, and I just peel it off and get as many bags as I need. If you get little mini bags, and you can do like all different colors. If you're wanting to do like different colors, you can get something like this. This was at Michael's. And then when you have like a lot of different colors, you can put the bags into these little holes and keep them straight that way. All right, so that's where I get my bags. I really like webrestaurantstore.com. They are a little expensive because because they do wholesale. Because you get a bunch of whatever you buy, you just get a bunch of it. But the individual prices you can't beat them. As for the chips and the coupling, so this coupling is a large coupling, and what it does is allows you to switch out the types of tips without having to go inside the bag or switch bags.
Mine's broke. What did you get at, Chef?
What's that?
Mine's broke. So I need to get a new one. But my girlfriend had got me one. Where did you get that one?
I got this one at Michael's. And it is plastic. I'm trying to look for a metal one, but I can't find it. The reason why I like the metal one is because it'd be easier to clean, because to clean the tips, you just heat gun the tips. But in order to clean the, I have to like put it in either hot water or put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a coupler, you don't have to use a coupler. All you have to do is measure about a third of the way up on the tip that you're using, and then cut the bag about a third of the way up, and then put the tip in there. The three main types of tips that you can get that you'll normally use are the Open Star, the 1M, and I will show you. This is the Open Star. It has like really, really wide folds. There's different variations of the Star. You can get like really big grooves, which is the one that I like, or you can get the really tiny grooves. And I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, you can't see it. There's like really tiny grooves on this one because I used a really small open star chip on that one. The next one is a closed star, and it's I use a 2D, D as in David.
And what was the number on that open star? I'm sorry.
Open star is 1M.
Thank you.
You do not want to get those kits. I made this mistake. I bought this kit.
Oh, they're not
And
large enough.
yeah, they're tiny, and then when I try to use them, the wax just kept getting stuck in them, and it was just a pain in the butt. So I've used that once. So these you normally you buy these separate, and they're like 99 cents to $2 each. So the third kind is a circular, and it is a 2A.
Two apple?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't like this one. I don't use this one because for some reason when I use it, it looks like something pooped on my. It looks like a poop emoji. My favorite is the closed star. I really like the closed star look, and it's probably the easiest to use. All right. Next is getting your bag ready for the wax. You can use any container. You can use a little pitcher, cup, whatever. Actually, I am gonna use that. No.
What size is your piping bag, please?
I have no idea. Let's see.
It looks like 21 inch.
Thank you.
It's really big. You can get different sizes. It depends on like how many candles you do at a time. So if you're doing like 18, more than 18, more than 20 candles at a time, then the really big bags is good. If you're only doing one or two, then you can get a really small bag.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't clean this out from yesterday, so I'm gonna double bag this so I don't get wax on my other bag. All right, that's ready. Um, this is my whipped cream. This is the pot that I use all the time for my whipped cream. I always use the same one, so I never have to clean it out. I always use 8% buttercream or vanilla or birthday cake, one of those three. And I always use 75% soy wax and 25% 25 to 30% 6006, which is this right here. And then I heat it up to about 120, 130, just above the melting point. You don't want it super hot because like for every 5 to 10 degrees hot you have it more above 130, we'll add about 15 to 20 minutes to the wait time before you can start whipping. So the cooler it is, the less time you have to wait until you whip. This, I know when you're in the DIY candle group, everybody's like, pour at this certain temperature and all this stuff. No, just for this, you want it as cool as possible.
So what temperature do you have it at right now?
It is at oh wow, mine's only at 65 degrees. So I'm glad you asked that because I told you guys 130. But yeah, mine's only at 65 degrees.
Okay.
My temperature right? That doesn't sound right. If anybody has access to the internet, can you look up 444's melting point?
I think 444 is 185, no?
I think it's 150 for the melting point.
Oh, 150? Okay.
Yes. Because generally for making candles, you heat it to 180 and then, but the melting point is 150.
Correct. That's correct. Yep.
I can tell this is like right above that, so this is probably around 155.
Okay.
But when you're doing whipped cream, I would not worry about the temperature. You don't need to worry about the temperature.
Yeah, I don't at all.
So does the temperature matter when you need to add in the fragrance oil? I thought it had to be at a certain temperature for it to blend into it. No?
No. So people sometimes misunderstand that is the reason why you do pour in the fragrance oil at a certain temperature is so the wax isn't too hot and it doesn't burn off the fragrance oil. So it's kind of like a speed limit again. You don't want to. Each fragrance has a flash point. Sometimes you're gonna have to go over the flash point, but sometimes you don't have to. But the longer that you have it in a wax that's higher temperature than the fragrance oil flash point is, the faster the fragrance oil will evaporate and burn off before you pour your candle. So, but we are, so basically it boils down to the cooler you want to add fragrance oil to cool wax. And since we are dealing with really cool wax and we're not heating it up all the way, it won't matter what temperature you're putting your fragrance oil in there. It only matters if you are heating your oil, your wax all the way up to the recommended temperature. So, yeah.
So have you already added your fragrance oil to that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, on my all my whipped cream and ice creams, I always have. Whenever I put my wax in there, I always put the fragrance oil in there at the same time.
Okay.
That way, I always have because I use whipped cream and ice cream on a lot of my stuff, so I always have that container ready to go. All right, so what we're basically doing is waiting for this to get a film on top, and then we're going to start mixing it. While we're doing that, while we're waiting for that, we're going to go back to this and do our holes for our wicks. Yesterday, I actually showed a different version of doing this, and actually, after yesterday, with the type of waxes that I use, I think I'm going to stop doing that because I used to pour the wax directly into the bag, tie off the top. Well, I put the tip in there, tie off the top, and then I just set the bag down, and then just keep squishing the bag until it's ready. But I did it both ways yesterday, and it took almost 3 times longer to do it that way than whipping it. I guess because when you whip it, it actually um, gets that air into it and cools it down faster. Best place to get these are the dollar store. They come at a dollar a pack, packs like this.
And are you ultimately going to replace those with the wick?
Yeah, soon as these are set, I will take these out, pipe, and then put the wick through it.
What was the purpose of heating that up just now?
When I showed you guys how to marble on top, I had a undesirable look on the top. So just for aesthetics, I used the heat gun and kind of melted it around. Mm, not ready yet. Not ready yet. Almost ready to take out of those. All right. You can actually leave these in the tins. I have an electric warmer from Amazon. It's about that big, and I just set them on there with the tins, and that way I can kind of switch them out, and I don't have to clean up the wax warmer. Also, something else on the tarts. You can get a look like this, kind of a faded white and dark chocolate. How to do this? You just put the white at the bottom, and then you pour the chocolate into the middle of the white very, very slowly, so the white like dissipates and it doesn't mix like all the way. Okay, so while these are waiting to set up, I'm going to show you how to cheat. We're gonna cheat. Yes, the candle. Yes, the candle chef cheats.
Everybody cheats at something, chef. Don't worry. Especially when it comes to making these things.
Yes. So, piping wax is the hardest thing you're gonna do in food candles,
Oh,
unless you're Nikki and can do it in your sleep,
I feel sad when you say that, you know, man.
right? Um, but yeah, it's very difficult. There are so many. I see so many people who try to do food candles, and they just stop. Or actually, they just stop doing food candles because as soon as they get to the piping, they're like, "Oh hell no, I'm not doing this." You know. And they're like, I think I'll just go back to the containers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I just figured how to cheat. All right. So um, these wonderful things called molds. I actually perfected the molds, and I make this kind of mold for cupcakes on my website, thecandleshop.com. You can get full-size cupcake molds, and you can. There's a bunch of things you can do different for these. It's not just making cupcakes. So one of the things that you can do is something like this. You can get a shot glass or a sample glass or something like this. These are my little sample glasses. This one's pina colada. Um, this one's like a cherry cheesecake. And the tops looks like I whipped those and piped those, but I didn't. I cheated. I used the top of my cupcake mold. I just put a little tiny bit of soy wax and into the cupcake mold. I put a skewer in there. Silicone's really good at, you can stick the pointy end at the bottom. You can stick it in. Silicone's really good at closing gaps, so it doesn't leak through that hole that you poked. But yeah, I just put that in there and put a little tiny bit of soy wax down there, and then I get a little tiny whipped cream dollop. And you don't have to pipe this. Another way to cheat is just filling it up to where the bottom is, and then you can actually use that for pies. You can use it for, I actually do this for my daiquiri, my strawberry daiquiris. If you see on my strawberry daiquiris, you'll see like a perfect whipped cream dollop every time. Like, how does he do that? This is how I do it. But that's our secret. Don't you go telling people I cheat. All right, and then one of my favorite things to do with the cupcake mold is frosted tips. When you're doing a cupcake mold, it's a lot easier to get them out if you either split it down the side. I just took my box cutter and just cut it down the side. You can also cut it on both sides to where it just completely opens up. Either way is fine. How you get it back together and staying together to stay together while you're pouring the wax is rubber bands. I used to use twine, but as soon as I started using rubber bands, it was like, this is awesome. So yeah, just 2 rubber bands, one at the top, one at the bottom. It's just enough. And I already have whipped cream setting right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this for my dollop.
Do you add anything into it for the color to maintain the white color?
No, that's why I use 75% natural soy wax because I really like the whiteness, the white color of the natural soy. Um, if you really like the consistency of 6,006 or paraffin, I really don't like using paraffin in ice creams and whipped cream, but some people do. If you do that, you'll get like a really translucent color and it doesn't look like whipped cream. What you can do then is get white dye chips. Um, where did mine go? I had them.
I'm really talking about to maintain the color. I know that, well, I've read that it yellows over time.
Oh, that's if you use essential oils. If you use an essential oil vanilla, um, the UV from the sunlight actually turns it yellow.
Okay.
If you use actual just normal candle fragrance oil, um, unless they actually use a pure vanilla, it won't turn yellow. If
Oh,
they use
okay.
if they use a pure vanilla into the fragrance oil, then yeah, it's something about the actual extract of the vanilla bean that does that.
Thanks.
All right, so this one is going to be my whipped cream dollop, and then this one is going to be frosted tips. Um, so when you're using molds, you want to reverse the percentages. You want to use 70% paraffin and 30% soy. I know I used my whipped cream in here and it's going to be super, super soft. I'm not going to be able to use this dollop for any shipping or anything like that because it's going to be super soft and mostly soy wax. So I'm not going to want to ship that. If you're shipping or selling candles, then you want to use 70% paraffin because of the higher melt point and also because it's a harder wax and it won't um, it's not brittle, it won't break, and it'll hold up better freestanding. All right, so for frosted tips, get our rubber bands. All right, I'm going to use my chocolate one because this is all paraffin. I could put a little bit of soy in there and it'll actually be a better consistency, but I want to keep this 100%. I want to keep this all paraffin for my chocolate. So I'm just going to use this, but for your notes, I would put in 30% soy. We'll get a better texture. All right, so what you do is you just do regular soy and do like a half an inch in the bottom, half an inch to an inch, and then you let it set for about 5 minutes. And then before it creates a film, You don't want it to create a film. Before it creates a film, then you're going to be pouring your color into the middle, super, super slow. And normally I use a tin for this because the wax comes out of the tall 4-pound pitcher really fast when I do this, and it's harder to control. If I use a tin, then I just do this, get a little spout, and it's easier to control. All right, we're gonna wait about 2 minutes, 1.5, 2 minutes, and I'll be ready. We still do not have a good consistency to start whipping. Nikki, when do you start whipping your wax? Do you start whipping right away?
No, I let it cool down.
Okay.
Read
You
it.
get the wax that has the film on the top?
Once it starts forming a bit, what I do is I take my mixer.
Mm-hmm.
I start mixing. So like every 2-3 minutes, I will mix because what happens is when you mix it like that, it cools the wax faster, and
Okay.
then the more you mix, then it starts to solidify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It starts looking cloudy yet.
Yeah, but 6006 is always cloudy.
You have the hand mixer, or you have the different type, right?
Yeah, I have the hand mixer.
Okay.
It's cloudy. I think I'm just gonna wait just a little bit more.
No. Yeah.
Maybe about 3-5 minutes. Give me enough time to do this one. All right, so what you're doing is waiting for the soy wax, the whiteness, to get hardened and the little tiny cracks in the of the whipped cream dollop. So then when you pour this very slowly in the middle, not disturbing the outside edges, you will get a really nice frosted tip look. All right. My skewer is a little bit off center, so I'm just gonna put something on top to get it center. All right. Looks like this tart's ready. I'm just heating up the outside of the tart so it comes out of the tin easier. All right. That's how you get little chocolate tarts. And the embeds, since you put them in while the paraffin wax was warm, they're complete. Oh, they're immovable. So that's how you get your embeds to stick into your tarts. There's like the only limitations you have with those is your imagination. There's so many things you can do with that. All right, I'm gonna start whipping this. The mixer that I use is a Bonson kitchen. It's a Bonson kitchen, and the reason why I use this is because of the different attachment it has. I have a. It comes with a little tiny food processor that you can just take this off, put a different tip on, and you can use it for your food processor. So I have like so many uses for this. I really like this. It was like 30 some bucks on Amazon. Comes with the different tips. What you're wanting to do when you're mixing is basically what you're doing is scraping everything off of the sides and also the bottom. As soon as you get everything scraped off on the sides and the bottom and mix it up a little, then you can let it sit for like 5-10 minutes. All right. While that is waiting, I am gonna show you some bonus stuff, and I'm gonna share a secret with you guys. All right. So this is my little ice cream scoop mold. You can get this on thecandleshop.com too. Um, these little Sunday glasses you can get at webrestaurant.com, webrestaurantstore.com, and they're like 88 cents each. They're like 5.5 ounces. And you guys are actually in for a treat because I normally do this for my Sunday class, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. All right, so we're going to make a little ice cream scoop. The reason why I'm doing this is because we're going to do like a little whipped cream dollop on top out of the whipped cream that we make. So, all right, for the the secret I was going to tell you. All right, if you guys have a Michael's nearby, this wax is it's a paraffin wax. It's from Michael's. It's a refined paraffin wax. It has all the additives and everything, and it's actually refined, and it's actually considered 100% paraffin, but it's refined. So what it has is a really, really, really nice white ice cream, whipped cream look to it. And so, and because it's paraffin, it has a higher melt point, and it is absolutely perfect for ice cream scoops. Has the perfect consistency, the perfect color, everything about this wax is perfect for ice cream scoops. So that's the secret I use for my ice cream scoops. Is paraffin wax from Michaels, and you can get 20% coupons from Michaels all the time. For this paraffin, it's 8% fragrance oil, and about 175 to 180 for the degrees. For this one, I'm only going to use one scoop, so I'm going to use an Eco 2. If I did 2 scoops or 3 scoops, I'd do an Eco 4. You can either use the mold, the ice cream scoops, or before you start piping, you can use an ice cream scoop, an actual ice cream scoop. It works really good. All right, so we have like it's a thicker consistency now. Getting there. If you're using all soy for your whipped cream, then is almost night and day the difference between if you add 6006 to it, as far as the consistency and the look for when it's ready. So. Normally what you're looking for is for you to be able to use a spatula, get some on your spatula, turn your spatula upside down, and if it doesn't fall off the spatula, it's ready. Uh, when you're wicking glass, I know a lot of people like to do the hot glue gun or some kind of attachment. I actually don't like doing that. I like to have the wick about an eighth of an inch above the glass. That way, if somebody does what they're not supposed to and burns this for like 24 to 48 hours and it's down to the bottom, that metal tab actually can break the glass if you have it on too long, too low. Which is why I like to have the metal tab up about a fourth of an inch. And with my sundaes, it's very easy because all I do is I put my chocolate in first, let it set for a little bit, and then I put my wick in. All right, we are getting very, very close to the consistency that we want. Maybe about 3 more minutes. Also, one thing to note is if you're using all soy and no 6006, either way, if you're using 6006 or soy, whenever you whip wax, it actually adds to the cure time. So if you cure your candles, you'll want to cure this about double the time that you normally cure it, because you whipped it. Looking good. Another reason why I like to use 6006 in my soy when I do whipped cream is it doesn't lump up and harden in various random spots like just soy does. It actually likes 6006 likes to stay a creamy consistency. All right, we're gonna do one more whip, and then we are ready to bag. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking for where I placed my spatula, my silicone spatula. I can't find it. I usually use a silicone spatula because you can get the size off really good. And we are ready. Look at that. So creamy. I just want to eat that. All right. All right, so we got our bag, and all you gotta do is just squish it down to the bottom. And if you have the right consistency, you don't need to tie off the top. It's gonna be able to stay in place and stay in form. All right, so I really don't like to pipe when there's wicks just sitting there, because it makes your dollop like look weird. I really like the closed star, and then what I do is I will start on one edge. I'll do a little tiny star in the middle first, like this. I'll fill the middle. Okay. And then I will go around the edge very slowly, consistent pressure. Oh, I don't like that. So if you get too much on one, this is why I leave leave the silicone cups on. You just take it, put it back in your cup, and start again. All right. You have really wide, really wide flaps on this. Kind of looks like a kind of like a rose color or rose look to it with the star. I do once around the edge of the outside, and then 1.5 in the middle over top of the star that I put in at first. And there's a little trick you can do with when you're piping. If you yank up, it gives a really nice like point at the top. And let me show you how much easier it is without the wick. And then once you're, I usually do it while it's soft, because it's so much easier to move the wick through the icing. There we go, now it's center. All right, I'm gonna take the rest of these out and then do these real quick. Do a star in the middle. And then do one ring around. and then do 1.5 circles. And if you are having problems getting through all the grooves, just use your heat gun on the tip. It'll come out a lot easier. All right, I'm gonna leave just a little bit for my Sunday. Oh, here's my white squares. I usually get these white squares from Hobby Lobby, and I'll use a half a square into a 3 pound, yeah, about 3 pounds of wax. And sometimes if you use too much 6006, you get like a clearish look, and that gets rid of the clearish look.
What size wick did you use in your sundae?
Eco 4.
Thank you.
And I can't wait until my ice cream scoop is ready. So I'm going to go ahead with the whipped cream. If you are having a hard time with piping, what you can do is you can get some wax paper and practice on the wax paper. Just do like stars, do little swirls, and then get your putty knife or whatever, and then just scoop it right back into the bag and keep on practicing. It will take a lot of practice to get really good, and I'm actually not to the point where I want. I'm like a perfectionist, and so I want them perfect. It's really, really hard to get them super, super perfect. All right, so the main benefit of piping is you're able to put things into the icing while it's setting. If you don't do that, then there's no reason to pipe. You can just use the mold for the dollop, and you'll get a perfect one every time. Um, so you definitely want to take advantage of the soft wax while it's setting. And use embeds, use sprinkles, use um, candle dye as paint. You can do these little sugar flowers. You can get those at Michael's. I don't think I have enough to finish these. I'll have to make up some more to finish these two right here. But which I think I'll do that later. But right now, what I want to do is the fun stuff. So I got little rainbow round sprinkles. I got little rainbow rod sprinkles. I got, you can use colored sugar. Um, you can use the sugared flowers. Um, this is a little sugar flower and little sugar leaves. These are actually all made with sugar. One of the things that you want to be careful with the sugar is if it is directly into the flame, it will give off like a smoky black smoke and carbon, which is bad. So you don't want to put anything near the wick. So it's not touching the wick. Other than that, you can use sugar flowers. You can use sugar. Oh, one of the best things that you can do is use real spices. If you do like an apple, like a hot apple pie cupcake, you can use like real cinnamon sticks. You can use real ground cinnamon. You use I use real star anise. I use nutmeg. And what it does is when the wax melts, it combines with the wax and gives off a really natural, spicy, especially the fall time coming up. The fall time coming up, fall candles are going to be awesome. And when you do like a pumpkin souffle or a pumpkin vanilla or a pumpkin marshmallow or anything like that, using real spices with a combination of that is super, 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 super. Definitely want to do the wicking while it's still warm, because once it hardens, especially paraffin wax, it gets super, super hard, and you won't be able to just push the wick through. You'll have to either drill it with a really long drill bit, or you can get like a metal. You can get a metal skewer and heat up the metal skewer, and then put the heated skewer through the candle to make the hole for the wick. My little cupcakes. All right, so all right, the presentation is everything when you're selling candles. So if you're planning on selling candles, it's worth, like right now, my candles look average. These just look just average. But I will probably spend the next hour to 2 hours making these absolutely perfect. And in order to do that, I have tools for that. Some of the tools that I use are little paint brushes that I get from the dollar store, little tiny sets. If you get these little sets, you can get like different effects with the different types of paint brushes. And you can either use acrylic. Acrylic works very well if you use it on the outside of paraffin. You can also use, what I do is candle dye. I just use candle dye and make sure once candle dye cures, it usually takes about 4 to 5 days for candle dye to fully cure to where it doesn't like rub off on your hands. I did this look with a peach candle dye and a little tiny brush, and all I did was I went around the outsides of the edges. You can also get these little bows. You can get these little silicone molds from Michael's or the dollar store or anything like that. They have little bows. They have these ribbon strips. You can fill this up, and what you want to use is 100% paraffin for this, nothing else. You do not want to use anything else for anything like this. Because they're so delicate. If you use soy wax, they'll just break, especially on the ribbons. Okay, so what you can do on these little ribbons is use paraffin, and then while the paraffin is warming, or while it's cooling, it's pliable, so you can actually pull it out while it's warm and wrap it around your cupcake. And then when it hardens, when it cools down, you'll have a really cool ribbon with a bow around your cupcake.
Are you using liquid candle dye, or are you melting down the color block?
Yeah, I tried melting down the color block. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
So yeah, I do use the liquid candle dye,
Okay.
even though I hate it with a passion. I hate liquid candle dye. I hate it a lot. So here's the little sundae with some Oreos and some strawberries. And what I'll do is I will perfect all this stuff. So when you're doing decorations on cupcakes, less is more. If you like load glitter on there and sprinkles, it just doesn't look as good as if you just had one little tiny sprinkle of sprinkles. And what I normally do is I'll put it in my hand first. I'll get a pinch, and then I'll just pinch it on, just one little half pinch, and that's enough for that cupcake. Um, Also, if you want your sprinkles to stick, and if your wax is hard, you can use your heat gun on low. Don't do it for very long because you'll lose the whipped cream texture. But if you get it, do it enough to where it looks wet, the sprinkles will stick to it. Does anybody have any questions? I think the only thing left to do is unveil the different types of the frosted chips. Anybody have any questions? When you're clipping your wick, you want to do a fourth of an inch.
Now, do people burn those inside of those tins because of melt, the wax melt runoff?
All right, so what I do is I put the cupcake into a 5-inch tin.
Okay.
That's what I do. Now, to a lot of people, a lot of customers out there think the tins look cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what you can do is you can go to the dollar store and you can get these.
Oh, those little glass bowls.
Yeah, Dollar Tree has these for $1, so they're only like 25 cents each. You have a little glass bowl, and then they
Okay.
also have candle plates.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the little 3 beads at the bottom, and they're glass, and they're about this big around.
Yes.
And then you place this on that, and you have a very high scale looking cupcake.
Okay.
If you have an amazing savings, I'm not sure what area, what state you're in. The prisoner was just speaking. Amazing Savings has really nice stuff that you can put the candles, the cupcakes on as well.
Is that a store? Amazing Savings?
Yeah, they
I'll
have them
look
all
that
over
up.
in New York. What state are you in?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, I don't know. Check and see. Check online and see if there's any close to you. Amazing Savings.
Okay. Yeah, because I've never heard of that, and I'm a shopaholic, so I think we don't have those here.
Oh, okay. They have some real unusual, unique, really. It's a Jewish company.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'll look and see if we have any in here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let me show you how to ship them and package.
Nice.
Actually, let me unveil these real quick, and I'll show you the. And I messed up.
Uh-oh.
Well, I didn't mess up. It's gonna take almost. It's gonna take like almost 3 days. I have too much 6006 into this.
Yeah.
It's
So,
yeah, super, super soft. I won't be able to get it out of this mold for like,
Oh, which is why you said you need to reverse those percentages for those.
yes, yes.
Okay.
For example, this one is all paraffin, so it's still warm, but I can still do it because paraffin keeps its shape. And I use,
Oh, cool. Okay.
so you can get your dollop from a cupcake top. And you can put this, if you have a long enough wick, you could even put it on your sundae, you can put it on your pies, you can put it on a lot of stuff.
Right. Okay. And those are your silicone molds?
Yes, I make these. They're
Okay.
on, if you go to thecandlechef.com, you'll see the picture of a blue uh, cupcake,
Mm-hmm.
but I switched from the blue to the clear. It's Moldstar 15 is the blue, and it has like a certain flexibility. It's not too flexible.
Okay.
So I had to split it in half two ways. The picture on there, I have to update it either today or tomorrow because I'm now making the silicone molds with dragon skin silicone, and it's the same stuff as Vanulay uses. And if you ever had Vanulay molds, it's like super, super good, flexible, super flexible, good quality silicone. So
Okay.
even though you'll see a blue one on there, you're gonna get one of these.
Okay.
I just have to update the picture. I haven't had time to do that yet. So that's how you cheat. But yeah, whipping and piping is pretty much the hardest thing you can do. And anybody who's ever tried it, especially if you go into DIY and you say, "Hey, I hand pipe this," they're gonna be, "Oh wow," because they know how hard it is.
I used to make cakes, so I remember doing it. That looked very similar.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, what that's the next venture I want to do is wedding cakes.
Oh, nice.
But I have to get good at this. This I want to get a perfect dollop every single time, not you know 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4. I did a cupcake line once, a custom cupcake line for a customer, and it was tropical cupcakes. So basically, it was a strawberry daiquiri, pina colada, any tropical daiquiri. I was actually doing it as a cupcake, and I started out with the strawberry daiquiris, and out of 16 cupcakes, I only got like 2 good ones.
Mm.
Wax paper is your friend. I get these from Uline. Yeah. No, either yeah, no. I got these wax papers from Uline. All right, so for shipping,
And are they pre-cut or does it come on a roll?
they're all pre-cut.
Okay.
So you get like a stack of like this many, and I always wrap everything in wax paper before I do either bubble wrap, peanuts, or parchment paper. I always do wax paper first because as soon as I started doing wax paper, I got less and less deformities in all my food candles, especially when I use gel wax. This does not stick to gel wax. So if you're ever using if you're doing a pie with gel wax on top, if you wrap it in the wax paper first, it doesn't stick to whatever you're wrapping it in. So I usually do this, and then I mean, you can do all kinds of things. You can put it in little cellophane bags that have the little glitter, and you can do like little ribbons right here. You can do all sorts of things. But webrestaurant.com has these white bakery boxes that you can use for either cupcakes or your pies. I use this for both my cupcakes and my cheesecakes. It's the exact same size as my cheesecake, so I use it for that too. What they do is they come popped out, or you just pop them out. And it's ready. You can either use this for a cheesecake or a dessert, or you can put this little insert. You can get these separate at webrestaurantstore.com, and then put these in there. If you're not shipping and you're doing like a flea market, just putting them in these when people walk by and see these with all the different kinds of sprinkles and decorations that you have in the white box with the window, it looks so professional. I mean, that looks awesome. Just putting it in this white box, you can probably charge like $7 more for a set. And
Yep, yeah, because it looks beautiful. It stands out.
yeah, and doing it in these boxes, I know a lot of people on Etsy, they'll sell their cupcakes separately. Doing it in these boxes and presenting them in the boxes, you can get more profit by selling by the set. They have 4, where you can do 4, and then they have the 6, and then they even have the bigger ones. I don't go any more than 6 because six cupcakes usually about 10 ounces each. That's a lot of wax, and it gets pretty expensive.
So, chef, if you don't mind me asking, if someone messaged you now, let's say on your page, and ask to purchase those 6 in there in that box as it is there, how much would you sell that? How much would you sell it for?
If you go to my site, I have the 4-pack and the 6-pack available. But oh, and then I would probably add maybe $1 to $2 more each candle for custom, if somebody was wanting something custom.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Thank you.
Look
Because
how
it's
beautiful
like
this
that.
there.
It's beautiful. I mean, it stands out. They're beautiful. Your hands are dirty. Come wash your hands.
So I got an order for 10 of my little sample jars. Nikki, these are the sample jars that I was telling you about.
Yes, I love those. What size are they?
They're like 4 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah, they're super tiny, and if you do whipped cream at the top, you don't even have to fill it up all the way to the top. So what I do is I do like the I fill it up with 6 and then I put embeds. This one's hot apple pie. So what I did was I did hot apple pie, 6 out of 6. Put a couple half apples in there, and then did the whipped cream dollop with the cinnamon.
Got it. What size wick you use?
Eco, I would use Eco 1, but
That's
I
what
use Eco 2, and the flame's a little big.
Okay.
I tested it all the way down to the bottom, and the glass was fine. Because it has this little handle,
Yeah.
you can pick it. You can pick it up.
Right. So you can use either Eco 1 or 2. Either one will work fine.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
This one is clove, and I put like a real star anise in there.
Right.
This one is a hazelnut. This is the one that I like. Hazelnut chocolate. Hazelnut chocolate.
Okay.
And then I put nutmeg on the top.
And those are for samples?
Yeah, these are all samples.
Okay.
This one's cheesecake, cherry cheesecake.
Yeah.
And when you say sample, is that a free sample or you charge for your samples?
I do charge for my samples.
Okay.
But they're super, super small, and I only charge like $3 each.
Yeah, okay.
Lady today was like, I need to smell your candles first. Or yesterday, I need to smell your candles. I was like, well, I got something perfect for you. I got these little cute sample jars. And I put my little sticker on there, my little Candle Chef sticker on there. And I was like, you can get any scent you want, and I will decorate around what scent you pick.
Nice.
And she got 10 of them. And it's a local pickup.
Nice.
But if you guys don't have any other questions, I think I covered everything. You guys probably have like 2 notebooks filled by now. Sante is like a long time coming, meeting you. I'm so glad that I was able to meet you. You're still on, okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm happy to meet you as well. I'm so excited to be a part of the class. My notebook is filled and I can't wait to try this out. If I have any questions, it's okay for us to contact you back, right?
Yeah, just message me on my Facebook and I'll help you out any way I can. I will also send you the link to this video of this class so you can always rewatch the video.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, Nikki, Asante was the first person to get one of my pie kits that I put on my first website.
Who was?
Yeah, you got the pie kit with the C6 and all that stuff with the YouTube video, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what was that web address? Did you say candleshop.com?
Oh, thecandlechef.com.
Oh, Candle Chef. Okay, sorry about that.
Are you on Chef's group on Facebook?
I don't know. I think I saw him on the DIY page.
No, you should join his group, his page, his Candle Chef page.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
So
Yeah.
I have the Candle Chef page on Facebook, and then I also have the Candle Chef Academy, and it's a group where I post all my classes. I post like everybody in the group. There's like 500-600 people. Everybody in the group have interest in food candles.
Okay.
It's pretty
I
informative.
absolutely love seeing all you guys' creations, and you guys should really get some lights like this. I have a 3-light kind of a lamp, and I put 3 different types of lights in there for all my pictures. Get two
Okay.
poster boards. You can get like marble contact paper and put it on the poster boards. But the lights and the poster board really upscale your pictures.
I need to get a lamp. Where did you get that, chef? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, uh,
I think
It's
Walmart
okay.
has those.
um, I got it from my living room 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I think it was at Target or something.
Yeah. Walmart
Okay,
has
okay.
them like with
Yeah,
like the three
Walmart,
different lights.
Target. Yeah. But what I usually do is I'll put 260 watts, and then I'll put one of those that have 260 watts, and then I have this one, and this one is actually the key because if you use the 30 watt, the real soft light, not the halogen, but if you use a soft light, it gives a really nice glow on your pies and anything like golden brown.
Oh, okay. I'll go to Home Goods and see if I get one because I purchased the what's it called? The something box on Amazon and it's working really nice. The little
Yeah,
like
the
little
light.
studio box.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
started out with the
I
light box.
I purchased a big one and me and chef they have like I think like 4 or 5 different colors you can use in the background.
Yeah, yep.
And you know, since you taught me with the yellow and all these different things, I've been playing around with it and it makes a huge difference, but I need more lighting. So that's what I'll get.
If you
Yes,
want to get really good with your pictures, like what I
yes, yes.
do, yeah, these are the different
The
things that I got
background.
with the light box.
Yeah.
You can also go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and usually these are always on sale. But I get
Yes. I need to get some.
all different kinds of colors. I have a prop box that has like all my different stuff for pictures in there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. That's why you see, you saw the improvement in my pictures with the Canva, right? Or you taught me, and
Yeah.
I did all of that on my phone, and I was so frustrated. I'm like, oh, chef said to do that. No, don't do that. Put this, put that. So I see a
You
big
talking about
difference in my.
the yellow pineapple ones?
Huh?
The yellow pineapple drinks? Did you do Canva with those?
I did Canva with all. Yes.
Yeah, those look awesome. I love those.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's I'm thanks to you because I was not really good at Canva. So and you know, doing it on the phone is really not as doing it on the computer. But I was like, you know what, I just have to use what I have, you know, until I can buy back a computer. And I was like, yeah. And thank you so much. It makes a huge difference with
Yeah.
my
Asante and Pamela, if you're wondering what we're talking about Canva, Canva.
Yes, I update my logo with that.
Oh my
right.
goodness.
So
You
what
can
what
do
did you
so
use
much more
Canva
with it.
for? What did you use Canva for? Did you use it to edit your photos or something?
I use it for my videos. I use it to edit my photos. You can actually use Canva as an editing software program for all of your videos. You
Okay.
can you can crop, you can trim, you can do anything you can do.
Anything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
anything you can do in a different software, you can do in Canva. You can do different backgrounds, photos. Um, if you pay for Canva, the monthly subscription, if you go through the photos, you'd be amazed at
Yes.
just their pure quantity of free photos
Yeah.
that you can use and the quality of the photos.
Yep.
You can just type in like fireplace, pies, you just type anything in and it just pops up and the quality is so awesome.
It's amazing, and it's like $12 a month, I think. I mean,
Yes.
once you're using it, you're getting your money's worth.
Yes, I keep forgetting. Like anytime I do a picture, I used to just upload it to my Facebook and then upload it to Instagram, upload it.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting. I was like, AJ, you have Canva. Go to Canva, make it look pretty, and then
Yes.
upload it.
Because since I uploaded these last set, so many people come into my inbox now because now the picture quality is so different.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Love
just
it.
have a quick question. Sorry. I know you showed us the cupcake mold, and you said that if you want to add embeds, it's better to pipe it. But is there some sort of trick or technique to probably use the heat gun so that you could add an embed, or that's not recommended?
Yeah, you can use a heat gun. Uh, it depends on like what texture that you want. So on the, you're talking about sticking embeds into the wax, right?
Right, but I'm talking about the ones that you use the silicone mold for. Is that possible? The ones that had the perfect dollop using the silicone molds.
Uh-huh.
Is it possible for me to add an embed in there?
Oh, I've tried it and it doesn't show up. It doesn't stay on the outside.
Okay,
But I've thought about that so hard and I can't come up with anything.
okay. Thank
Can
you.
do
Yeah, if
it.
you want to do embeds,
Blue's not a good idea.
best to do the piping. If you want to do, if you just want the dollop, then I would do the mold.
Okay, thank you.
This was fun.
And we are done early. I got good at explaining everything yesterday. I went to 6:30 yesterday,
Wow.
but I also had 7 people.
7?
Yeah,
Okay, then full class.
it's the same class. I just did the same class both days.
Okay. Hi, Ellie. What happened, baby?
Okay.
All right,
Well,
guys.
I appreciate it.
All right.
I am so glad I met you, Pamela.
Yes, likewise.
Okay. Yeah, definitely look me up on the Candle Chef on my Facebook and also my website.
Yep,
Uh,
just did.
if you guys start making candles, food candles, and you don't have anywhere to sell them, um, you can send some marketing pictures to my email, and I can list them on my site as a sponsored candle chef.
Oh, nice.
I have 2 to 3 candle chefs now, Tropical Breeze candles, and also Leslie B's candles. And Tropical Breeze is actually she gets like 2 to 3 orders a week on her embeds and her cheesecakes that she does.
Nice.
I just send the orders to her and say, hey, you got an order, and then she fills the order and ships it out.
Cool, cool. I
Next,
appreciate that.
I'll be on soon. All right.
Yes, yes. I learned a lot. I learned so much. That was incredible.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
Mhm.
I
That's why
pretty
you're the
much
tech.
gave you guys every tip and every little secret and trick that I know of.
Truly appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
All right.
That's why you're the candle chef, Chef. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Happy
Bye.
making. And I want to see pictures.
Yes.
Nice meeting you two other ladies. Bye bye. All the best.
All right. Nice meeting everyone.
Likewise.
Take
Good
care.
luck. Uh-huh. Bye-bye.